In A Kismet Christmas, Sarah is a famous writer that must return to her hometown, years after she humiliated herself in front of her childhood crush. Sarah is struggling to get back the magic she had in her life before she left. A Kismet Christmas opens with a bustling street during the holiday season, and a display window decorated with white, snowy Christmas tree stickers. Children peer inside the display window, where the book Isabella's Kismet Cookies, by Sarah Grace, is propped up for everyone to view. In the bookstore, Sarah Grace is reading an excerpt from Book 2, to a room full of children, that are hanging on the edge of their seats. The children are all dressed up as the characters from the book's cover, Isabella and Roger. The few pages Sarah is reading are early rough drafts, with numerous alterations written in red pen. The children cry out in protest when Sarah ends her passage on a cliffhanger. Sarah announces her second book is coming soon, but she cannot reveal anything else. Her agent, Benny, goes to the front of the room and breaks the news. They have chosen a winner for the Christmas Kismet letter contest and will travel to their town. As Benny reveals the winner's town is New Britain, Sarah glances at him in shock. She gets confirmation that it's in Maine and looks away with a look of dread, clear on her face. When Sarah and Benny leave the book signing, Benny inquires about her reaction to the winner's town. Sarah confesses it is her hometown, and she left on bad terms. Benny eagerly presses for more details, so Sarah begins to recall her time there. A younger Sarah pulls up to her grandma's house on Christmas Eve. She is greeted by her grandma's friends Patsy and Raylene as they hastily walk outside. Sarah notices Raylene is holding a Kismet cookie and blithely teases her about having one, despite Raylene being married. Raylene begrudgingly informs Sarah it's for her niece, who couldn't find a good man, even if he stood right in front of her. A snowball strikes Sarah on the back of her head. As they walk away, Sarah turns to find her crush, Travis, placing a wreath on the front of his car. Travis teasingly calls her Sarah Bear to get a rise out of her from an incident in the past, when Sarah raced inside, screaming that there was a bear outside. Sarah huffs and replies she knew it was a dog. Travis looks pleased by his success at agitating Sarah, and asks her about the book she is working on. Sarah sheepishly sidesteps his question, albeit a small smile forms on her lips. She immediately spots a for sale sign on his car, and appears astonished. He's going to sell his baby, the Night Runner. Travis wants to buy a more practical car, and be more grown up. Sarah jokingly pretends that it's an impossibility. Sarah goes inside, and runs to her grandmother Mia, to embrace her. The kitchen is a complete mess, with Kismet cookies overflowing from the countertops. Sarah helps her grandma by placing a batch of cookies in the oven. She questions how long they should bake, and her grandma Mia says to check the recipe. There is an old piece of paper. However, its instructions say to pull the Kismet cookies out when they are ready. Sarah is puzzled and asks Grandma Mia again when they will be finished. Grandma Mia answers she will know in her heart. Only then will the magic of a Kismet cookie work. Sarah mentions she saw Travis outside, and Grandma Mia inquires if he has told Sarah the news yet. Sarah mistakenly believes she meant the news about selling his car. Grandma Mia's expression reveals something else is bugging her, even if Sarah is oblivious to it. The doorbell rings, breaking the moment between them. Helen is at the door to buy a Kismet cookie, although she is skeptical. So, Grandma Mia offers to tell her the story behind the cookies. The story begins 100 years ago, when Grandma Mia's great-grandparents bought the very house they are in. A wealthy man from town wanted to marry Grandma Mia's grandmother, Nana Sue. The problem was, she didn't love him. Nana Sue promised to give him an answer by Christmas. But on Christmas Eve, she found a hidden cabinet that contained the Kismet cookie recipe. The recipe guaranteed she would dream of her true love if she followed the recipe with utmost precision and placed the cookie, wrapped up, under her pillow. That night, she dreamed of a man in town. Nana Sue went to confront him. She discovered that he was in love with her, but was too scared to compete against the wealthy man who had proposed. They got married, and he became known as Grandpa Joe. Helen seems captivated by the story and enthusiastically buys a Kismet cookie. Later that night, Sarah is working on her novel when she hears a sound outside. She draws the curtain back to see Travis outside, secretly fixing her squeaky trunk hinges with care. Grandma Mia catches Sarah watching him and asks what he's doing. Sarah bashfully pretends that she doesn't know. Sarah sees what should be the last Kismet cookie of the year in Grandma Mia's hands. She begs to use it to discover her true love, but her grandma warns Sarah of being too young to settle down. Grandma Mia confesses that she uses it every Christmas Eve to dream about her true love that has already passed. Sarah mischievously sits on her bed with a Kismet cookie in hand. She places it under her pillow and turns off the lights. She awakens the next morning with an enormous smile on her face. Sarah darts down the stairs to see Grandma Mia in the kitchen. She immediately admits to stealing a Kismet cookie and now knows her true love. Joy radiates off of her. Sarah turns to run out the door. Grandma Mia panics and tries to stop her, but isn't fast enough. Sarah rapidly knocks on Travis's front door until he answers in a gray suit. She begins to tell him what she did as he backs away from her. Sarah loudly announces that he is her true love. To her shock, when they reach the living room, they walk in on Travis's wedding. Devastated, Sarah runs back to Grandma Mia. As tears flow down her cheeks, she rips up the Kismet cookie recipe. It is the present. Sarah tells Benny that she changed the Kismet cookie's abilities in her book. It grants superhero powers, instead of revealing one's true love. Sarah reveals that she never saw Travis after that, and heard that he moved to Florida. Benny says the winner will be announced at an event in her hometown. Sarah wonders if the people from her town know that she is the author. She figures that the only person who knows, Grandma Mia, didn't tell anyone. Benny begs her to give him the draft of book number 2 after their trip is done. Sarah promises she is almost done, but can't decide on the ending. She appears worried as she walks away. Sarah drives up to her Grandma Mia's house, exactly like she did all those years ago. She peers over at Travis' old house with unease. Inside, Sarah is welcomed once again by Patsy and Raylene. They both frantically reveal that they know she is the author of Isabel's Kismet cookies. Sarah goes upstairs to her old bedroom to find it is exactly the same as she left it. She nervously reaches for the pillow that the Kismet cookie laid underneath all those years ago. When she finds nothing, she breathes out a sigh of relief. Sarah arrives at the Dickon Christmas event, which is in the park. She is in an ornate pink gown that looks incredibly old-fashioned, almost historical. The mayor calls her up to the spotlight to announce the winner of the contest. Sarah reads the name Jasmine from the envelope. Jasmine dashes to her and tightly hugs Sarah with a beaming smile. A man dressed as Santa slips up and accidentally calls Jasmine by her nickname, Jazzy. He tells Sarah he is Jazzy's father. He can't stop staring at Sarah throughout the photo shoot. He helps Sarah down and refers to her as Sarah Bear. She is speechless as she realizes that the man is Travis. Afterward, Sarah is at Grandma Mia's, frantically packing her bag. She is ambushed downstairs by Grandma Mia, Raylene, and Patsy as they try to convince her to stay for Christmas. Travis and Jazzy walk in before Sarah can make it out the door. Sarah can't bring herself to disappoint Jazzy, so she pretends that she was about to unpack instead of leave. Jazzy offers to bring her suitcase upstairs and convinces Sarah to help her with the project she discussed in the winning letter. Travis, Jazzy, and Sarah go next door. Inside, Sarah sees a picture of Jazzy's mom and asks Travis about it. Before he can answer, Jazzy enthusiastically calls out to Sarah. A little later, Travis changes out of his Santa suit. He can hear Jazzy and Sarah talking in the other room. His smile grows as he listens to them bond. They go into the kitchen to cut out paper ornaments, while Jazzy describes the Christmas project she mentioned in her letter. During the Christmas holidays, the town of New Britain donates books to their sister city for those less fortunate. Upon hearing this, Sarah offers to send some of her books to help with the project. Jazzy asks why Sarah uses the pseudonym Grace instead of her actual name. Sarah tells her the truth. When she wrote the book at 17, she was lonely and ached to be someone else. When Sarah mentions how lonely she was, Travis looks sorrowful and contemplative. Sarah assures them it all worked out because it helped her write the book and create the character Isabella. Grandma Mia and Sarah go to Patsy's shop, where they all discuss the Kismet cookies. Sarah reiterates that she doesn't believe in the magic of the cookies anymore. Raylene divulges that the secret ingredient to her amazing candy is love, and she still believes in the magic of the cookies. Sarah, Grandma Mia, Patsy, and Raylene all meet at a cafe for some tea. They discuss embarrassing romantic encounters. Grandma Mia says her most embarrassing moment was telling Grandpa she had a dream about him being her true love. This causes Sarah to roll her eyes because she still doesn't believe in the magic of the Kismet cookies. Patsy says she hasn't had an embarrassing romantic encounter yet, but there is still time. Mayor Shebley approaches the table to ask if Sarah will participate in the Christmas scavenger. Raylene raises her eyebrows, hinting that the mayor is Patsy's true love. Sarah agrees to attend the event, and Mayor Shebley says she will be the answer to a clue that leads to Raylene's bookstore. Before Mayor Shebley leaves, Patsy gives him her favorite candy. He thanks Patsy as his rosy cheeks light up. Raylene tells the mayor he could ask Patsy out to dinner to thank her, but he is too flustered to respond. Sarah meets Jazzy and Travis to help with the decoration for the Christmas project. They are placing handmade paper ornaments on the tree. When Travis and Sarah have a moment alone, they flirt back and forth about her being famous now, and watch Jazzy brag to her friend about Sarah. Travis, Jazzy, and Sarah stroll outside together and enjoy each other's company. Christmas decorations and sparkling lights surround them. Travis tells Sarah Jazzy writes fanfiction for her book. Jazzy is embarrassed, but Sarah reassures her that she did the same thing when she was little. Travis and Sarah reminisce about all the stories she used to write and how he helped her brainstorm when she would get stuck writing. Sarah learns that Travis looked through all her stories, even though she marked them as private in the notebook she kept them in. They anxiously say goodnight after Jazzy interrupts a moment between them on Grandma Mia's front porch. The next day, Travis and Jazzy are in the town park, participating in the scavenger hunt. They effortlessly figure out that the first clue is Sarah in the bookstore. Travis finds Sarah first. She is in the old corner of the bookstore, and he knew exactly where she would be. Jazzy takes a few moments to find her, and ends up revealing Sarah's location to other participants of the scavenger hunt. Later, Sarah arrives back home. She sees Travis put a Christmas wreath on his minivan. They banter back and forth, exactly like they used to. Travis invites Sarah to view Jazzy's Christmas tree project, and see him in the Santa suit again. He even attempts to hit her with a snowball, like old times, but Sarah ducks and smiles at him. Sarah goes back to the bookstore to help with Jazzy's Christmas project, and starts up a conversation with Raylene. They watch as Patsy and the mayor flirt. Raylene tells Sarah the tragic tale of them being high school sweethearts, but splitting up once Patsy went off to college. Raylene wonders aloud if Sarah and her grandma could make the Kismet cookies, to discover if the mayor and Patsy are truly meant to be. Jazzy approaches and watches as Sarah picks a handmade paper ornament from the tree. Travis had given Sarah a hint earlier about which one it was, because Jazzy was excited to have her participate. Sarah chooses Jazzy's. On the back of it, she reads that Jazzy wants Sarah's second book for her Christmas present. Sarah is nervous since she hasn't been able to finish the book. However, Jazzy is calm and confident that she will. Jazzy and Sarah watch Travis give a speech. When he is done, Helen approaches Sarah. She happily informs Sarah that the cookie worked. She dreamed of her husband and met him the next year. They are still together and currently have 2 beautiful children. She sincerely thanks Sarah and prays that they will start making Kismet cookies again to bring that magic back to the town. Jazzy overhears their conversation and begins to wonder if she could get Sarah and Travis together with the magic of the Kismet cookies. That night, Sarah goes over to Travis' house and helps him wrap books for Jazzy's project. She tells him what Jazzy wants for Christmas. He assures her that it's fine if she doesn't fulfill the wish. But Sarah can't stand the idea of disappointing Jazzy. Sarah reveals she is having writer's block and is incredibly frustrated about not being able to complete the second novel. Travis tries his best to comfort her by offering her some of Patsy's amazing fudge. He tells Sarah he believes in her writing talents. The next morning, Sarah confides in Grandma Mia that Helen talked to her yesterday. Sarah feels regretful that she tore up the recipe, now that she is beginning to believe in the magic again. She wonders if it broke her bond with the town and her grandma. Grandma Mia comforts Sarah and says that she could never destroy any bonds they have. She will always love Sarah. Immediately after, Sarah gets a call from Benny. He regrets to inform her that if she can't meet the book deadline, they will hire a ghostwriter to finish the book. This leaves Sarah in shambles. Sarah goes to her old brainstorming spot on the pier, where Travis finds her and learns about the news. They have a conversation, and Travis talks about his failed marriage with Jazzy's mom. He reveals he always believed in Sarah and her abilities as a writer. Sarah compliments him for being a good dad. Travis then asks for advice about allowing Jazzy to go on a sleepover, and Sarah encourages him to let her go. Sarah surprises Travis by throwing a snowball at him as he is walking away. He finds it endearing, and they share a laugh. Travis and Sarah then drop Jazzy off at her friend's house. Sarah gets a message to meet Grandma Mia and her friends at the bookstore. They want her to sign the books her agent sent for the charity project. Once there, she learns that they are having a conversation about whether or not Patsy should go out with the mayor. Patsy is worried that her long and cherished friendship with Mayor Shebley will be ruined if she is wrong about their compatibility. Raylene and Patsy plead with Sarah and Grandma Mia to make the cookies again, even though the recipe has been torn up. They believe that the magic is in the Colin women, instead of the old recipe paper. This makes Sarah wonder if the magic is real. But she is whisked away to sign books before she gets the chance to think about it. Travis stops by Sarah's house later to ask for advice about the best sweater for Jazzy. He knows Jazzy is getting too old for him to pick out cool clothes for her. He pulls out a bunch he bought to choose from, and Sarah thinks the last one is perfect. Sarah offers to go with him to return the other sweaters. While they are in town, they see a Christmas trivia contest. The winner receives a gift card that Travis says would be perfect for Jazzy's stocking. During the game, Sarah and Travis enjoy each other's company. The next morning, Sarah is struggling to finish her book when Travis knocks on the door. He demands that she helps him pick a Christmas tree. They drive out to a picturesque cabin to look for the perfect tree. Sarah is curious to know why they passed so many good trees, but Travis doesn't tell her. Sarah chooses the tree and almost falls when she runs to it, but Travis catches her. They share a special moment, while Sarah enjoys the feeling of being in his arms. After he invites her inside, Travis admits that he inherited the cabin. He takes Sarah's phone and reveals he brought her out to the cabin to help her with her writer's block, just like old times. He arranged for Grandma Mia to pick up Jazzy while they stayed together in the cabin. They begin to brainstorm, and hours later, Sarah is finally able to finish her book. They embrace once they realize what they accomplished, but awkwardly make plans to go back home. Sarah emails Benny and asks him to take a look at her finished book, much to his great excitement. Sarah goes downstairs and overhears Grandma Mia talking to her grandpa's photo. When Sarah steps into the room, Grandma Mia becomes embarrassed and leaves in a rush to run errands. Sarah watches her grandma leave and looks sad. She goes into the kitchen and prays the recipe will be back in its original location so she can make the cookies again. She wants to help Grandma Mia dream of Grandpa again and see if Travis is her true love. The old recipe is exactly where her great-great-grandmother found it. It even has tape on it where she had ripped it. Jazzy comes over just as Sarah is finishing up a completed batch of Kismet cookies. Jazzy looks back longingly at the cookies as they both walk out the door. Sarah goes to see Patsy and gives her a Kismet cookie. Patsy is ecstatic to receive the cookies, and she gives Sarah a warm embrace. Now, she will finally know if the mayor is the true love that she lost when she was younger. Sarah and Travis walk around town after she delivers the Kismet cookie. Sarah anxiously grips her phone and waits for a response from Benny about the book. As she complains to Travis about Benny's slow reply, he appears before her, walking down some steps. Sarah hugs Benny, shocked to see him there. Benny joyfully tells Sarah the book is amazing, possibly even better than the first one. Benny tells Sarah he wanted to see the town. When he glances at Travis, Sarah catches the hint that he also wanted to meet Travis. Benny and Sarah go to meet Grandma Mia, but as they walk inside, they see her grandma staring longingly at the Christmas tree. Benny excuses himself, and Sarah approaches Grandma Mia. Sarah discovers all the Kismet cookies are gone. Word got around town, and everyone stopped by to get a famous cookie. Sarah tries to comfort her grandma by promising they can make the cookies again next year. Grandma Mia reveals that she isn't staying in the house anymore. She is going abroad to teach. She wants to fill her days with the joy of teaching again. Sarah is upset, but accepts it when she knows her grandma will be okay. Grandma Mia pulls out the last Kismet cookie and explains that she saved one last cookie for Sarah. Sarah can't accept it. She earnestly wants Grandma Mia to dream of Grandpa again. They hug and attempt to accept all the changes that are to come. Sarah goes over to Travis' house and confides in him about her grandma selling the home. She admits she is extremely sad to move on from her grandma's house and the town. Travis implores her to buy the house from Grandma Mia and stay. He confesses his feelings for Sarah and jokingly promises not to marry anyone in the morning. Sarah gets up and departs in a rush. Travis calls after her, intently hoping she'll stay. Sarah meets with Benny and talks to him about what just happened. She acknowledges that she has started to believe in the magic of cookies again. Benny lays out her options for her. Sarah could go back to her old single life in New York. There, she would struggle to write again and possibly get writer's block. Her second option is to remain in New Britain, where she is inspired to write and has her childhood crush and potential true love across the street. Sarah questions once again if there really is any magic in the town or the Kismet cookies. Benny teases her about it being a hard decision since they both know what would make her happy in the end. Sarah wakes up on Christmas morning. She is just as elated as the morning she learned Travis was her true love. She goes downstairs and talks to Grandma Mia. Sarah asks how many cookies her grandma gave away and discovers someone had saved 2 of the cookies. She found one Kismet cookie under her pillow when she woke up. Grandma Mia and Sarah realize it must have been Jazzy. Travis wakes up and slowly looks under his pillow. Jazzy and Travis go over to Grandma Mia's, and on the countertop, Jazzy sees Sarah's second novel. Grandma Mia tells them that Sarah left it there before leaving to the airport. Travis and Jazzy sprint out the door so that they still have a chance to catch Sarah. Grandma Mia attempts to stop them and tells them they don't have to race after Sarah, but they are too fast. Sarah is walking up the path to the house as they bump into each other. She reveals that she isn't leaving. She was only on the way to drop Benny off. Jazzy and Grandma Mia go inside to give Travis and Sarah a moment alone. Sarah asks if Travis dreamt of her. He plays it cool and tells her it doesn't matter. Sarah will always be the love of his life. She knows he is joking with her and gets him to admit that he did indeed dream of her. Sarah tells him the story about the day she thought she was being attacked by a bear. Travis had stepped in front of her even before he found out that it was only a dog. That moment was when Sarah knew she loved him. She had never stopped loving him since. They share a romantic moment after all of their feelings are revealed.